so with the awareness that without your divine presence here at the center of our activity and also within ourselves, our work will be
Tapos lahat naman
grace us
kasi
with your wisdom and vision. Gift us with
kasi
holy human
center of the
ingenuity
field all of
so
families
that
ng
not only
tatay
this
at
orientation but
ano na
all our
mga
lives
times.
may be a meeting place of
Okay.
wisdom. We ask this through our Lord Jesus
Oh.
Christ, who lives with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit,
Ikaw,
now
gusto
and
mo pa-pick up
forever.
ko na lang sa mga residente sa,
Amen.
saan ka ba? Sa Orto. Oo, pakuha ko na lang sa, sabi mo sa amin ko anong araw sa papupunta ko yung mga bata na para pumunta. Okay, thank you, Kim. Salamat. Okay, bye-bye.
PRC ang lingkod ng bayan, patuloy na pag-unlad ang daming angat sa tao at sa lipunan. Serbisyo ang misyon habang buhay, ekonomiko.
Hello? Sir, yes. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hindi mo lang ako, sir. Hello, hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
Profesionalismo at integridad, responsibilidad.
Hello, sir. Nalamin mo na ako na dito sa PCR. Sir, ano kasi yan? Nagkakawa natin, sir, mapag-isip. Sir, just online, kumbaga kasi minsan alam natin na depende kasi siya. So, para madali na kung mag-iba, ano na siya, direct na. But doesn't mean na, kumbaga na, what we call this is the final goal. Kasi dahil ano pa rin yung essential. Binago lang natin siya, sir, sabi mo kasi kaya nagkakasunan natin.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Justin Bernardo, your host for this activity. And on behalf of the Professional Regulation Commission, we would like to welcome all of you on the public orientation on the guidelines on the accreditation of specialty society, organization, and other specialty categories providing structured training programs for professionals, or the resolution number 1591 series of 2022. It is our privilege to have you with us today. We are now ready to commence the proceedings of our activity. But first, please be reminded of the few ground rules for webinar participants.
So, sayang, kung may ERP sana sila, sir, okay na.
This activity will be recorded by the CPSP CATS PMC Secretariat for documentation purposes. Make sure that you have stable internet connection all throughout the program. Opening of the video camera is allowed. However, discretion must be observed. Smile when your camera is open. Every after presentation, we will request the participants to drop down their questions and clarifications to our Zoom chat box and Facebook live streaming comment section. The questions and clarifications will be answered during our open forum, and the questions must follow our prescribed format as shown on the screen. These certificates will be disseminated on your respective email addresses upon filling out the evaluation form through a link that will be flashing after the open forum. Similarly, for the attendance, we will flash for a minute after this reminder, so kindly screenshot or copy the link.
Sir, yes. Nadaan pa sa akin talaga. Yes, sir. Yes. Tapos sir, after pa niyan, dadaan pa kay PPR sa Sunday. So, 3 layer talaga. Sir, totoo naman. Totoo naman. Usually naman, sir, pag okay ka kasi sa atin, okay na yan sa PPR. Sir. Yes, sir. Oo. Sir, most of the nitty-gritties talaga nasa level kasi na.
Okay,
So,
let's get this
yun,
started.
ano yan,
To give
kumbaga,
us
sir,
these
connect lang
welcoming
yan siguro
remarks,
kasi si
it
Dave
is
na
my
eh,
honor to
sa atin
introduce
sa
to all of you
siguro university.
our Commissioner in
Ang tagal
Oversight for
yung ginagawa
Continuing
namin
Professional
coordination
Development
check
and for the Career
natin.
Progression
Kasi
and
alam natin matagal eh.
Specialization
So
Program,
they're checking it in
Credit
advance
Accumulation
natin
and
para
Transfer System, Honorable
oh.
Commissioner Jose Y. Cueto Jr.
Sir. Sir. Magkano naman
Thank you,
maglalagpas naman
Justin.
tayo ng list eh.
Good afternoon to everybody. In
Sige,
behalf of
sir.
the Commission
Actually,
proper,
naman, sir.
our PRC
Nakakatuwa nga sa
Chairperson, Charito
palit-palit
Zamora,
hindi. Kung anong
my
batas
colleague,
natin,
Commissioner Erwin
pinagpatuloy.
Enad,
Kopya mo sila.
the CPSP CATS Program Management Committee led by Honorable Melinda Garcia,
Kulit-kulit na lahat.
the chairman,
Sabi ko
the
nga,
chairs
sabi nga
and
ako,
members of
hindi
the
naman sir
various
tayo
regulatory
dito. Pag
boards,
nag-check ako kasi,
present and past,
pinapatawagan
CPD
talaga natin
councils,
sila. Sabi ko,
PRC officers involved in this activity, our professionals, and representatives of professional organizations, societies, groups, and institutions, participants attending via the virtual Zoom platform, and those attending via Facebook live stream. And of course, our presenters, moderators, and support staff.
Yes,
Let
sir.
me
Iba
welcome
kasi yung style
everybody
ng
to
Mr.
this
Chatty.
activity.
That's true.
We are now in our 7th year implementing the CPD law. And analysis of present situation among 46 professional regulatory boards distributed in 4 clusters. All of them are in different stages of development as far as career progression and specialization programs are concerned. There are boards, these are classified as more advanced. There are boards classified as less advanced. And there are those which is still starting. And maybe there are even those who are struggling coming up with their CPSP programs. This activity is in line with the developmental role of the Professional Regulation Commission.
Sir,
The
may
PRC
questioning tayo,
is
sir,
known
ha?
for its
Mga
regulatory
questionnaire,
role,
may
but for
questionnaire.
these activities, we emphasize the developmental role.
Same pa rin, sir.
We have a
Kasi
very
yung usual
important
natin.
role
Para sabi ko,
in the
hindi na kayo
implementation of the Philippine
nakiusap na lang sa
Qualifications
Manila
Framework,
Message.
the
sir.
development of qualifications of our professionals, and of course, in
Sir,
the
sino ba papalit
implementation
sa'yo?
of the ASEAN Qualifications Reference Framework.
Sir, mahirapan
And let me
papalit.
acknowledge the presence of
Mahirapan
our
papalit.
former chair of the PRC, who was the chair of the task force for the AQRF,
Pero ano, sir, hindi ako sa'yo
former
kasi
chairman,
hindi
Attorney
ako
Teresito
kasi
Mansala, who is in
we
attendance.
cannot do it forever.
We are also participating in the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Arrangements. We have crafted
Kaya,
and enhanced our competitiveness roadmaps. And of course, we are also implementing the CPD and CPSP.
Oo naman, sir.
So this afternoon,
Although,
we are holding the public orientation on the PRC
Sa
resolution number
ilang beses mo na
1491,
pinuntahan
series
to
of
eh.
2022,
Oo,
or the
it's a safety
guidelines
naman,
on
sir.
the
Kumbaga, pero
Accreditation
sabi ko,
Specialty
mag-mention
Society
sa mga
/ Organization
activities
and
na
other
kasi
specialty
sa mga
categories,
ilang beses nila
providing
pinuntahan.
structured training programs for professionals.
Parang isang ko, add
So
something new
encourage you, and we welcome contributions of ideas, inputs, constructive feedback, suggestions for
Yes.
improvement
Sir,
as far
sinabi ko na
as the
yan. Sabi ko
resolution
yung MPL, sabi ko,
is concerned.
sabi ko, okay,
And
baka pwede mo isama
we assure
mo
you
yan sa
that we will value and
sa
consider
blueprint. Kasi
all the
sabi ko,
inputs that will
some
be
meeting that
contributed
you already
during
understood.
the
Ako, pero
Q&A.
Diyos ko,
So
after
in
ang
behalf of
dami
the
ang dami
PRC,
kong tawa.
welcome to this
Ano ba
activity.
gumawa yung anak sa
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Cueto, for that message.
Totoo, sir.
This orientation truly intends to
Sir,
inform
sabi
our
nga, sabi ko, dahil
stakeholders on
after
our new
sir,
policy, its purpose, and basis and impact of the accreditation.
Sir, mga lumang
Okay, And to start our discussion, our first presentation entitled What is the Purpose and Impact of Accreditation on Specialty Societies, Organizations, and Other Specialty Categories, which pertain to the whereases of Section 3 of Rule 1 and Section 17 of Rule 6. May I introduce to all of you our first presenter, Officer in Charge of the Professional Regulatory Board of Dentistry, and the Program Manager of the Career Progression and Specialization Program, Credit Accumulation and Transfer System Program Management Committee, Honorable Melinda Lopez Garcia.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. Accreditation of competent specialty bodies such as specialty societies, organizations, and other specialty categories is an important guiding principle and protocol for quality assurance since they are ultimately responsible for all or some aspects of the competency certification system. For some professions like in dentistry, accreditation of specialty societies by its professional regulatory board and the Professional Regulation Commission is nothing new, since it is a mandate of the board as stated in its professional regulatory law. There are specialty societies that were formed even before PRC was created, such as the Philippine College of Surgeons, as established in 1936. On the other hand, for most of the professions, creation of specialty societies, organizations, or groups and its PRC accreditation will be a new endeavor, which will be a great leap forward not only for the profession, but towards career advancement of the professionals. I am sure that each and every professional, if given the right opportunity, would like to move towards a more advanced state in his or her profession or pursue a higher professional qualification pathway. And this can be made possible through the PRC's career progression and specialization program. The PRC accredited specialty and subspecialty societies, organizations, shall become our partners in developing career progression and specialization programs. And together, we shall closely guide our professionals in moving towards a more advanced career pathway and outline the route a professional may follow in order to reach its identified career developmental goals, which is to become a recognized specialist not only in the Philippines but internationally as well.
Sige, sir. Sige, see you, sir. Sige, sir. Salamat, sir. Tama, sir. Nakinig ako sa'yo. Thank you, sir. Sige, sir. Ingat. See you, sir. Okay, bye-bye. Sige po. Oo. Ma, sorry. Hindi ko sa sabi. Ma, sabihan ko kayo
The
kasi
state
sabi
recognizes the vital role of professionals in nation building and development whose standards are internationally recognized
kukunin
and
niya yung sa
provides
POCN
world-class
or
professional
sabihan na lang
services
kita ko
about the regulatory measures,
para makukuha yung
programs, and
certificate.
activities that foster professional growth
Okay.
and advancement.
Sige. Thanks, ma.
Thus, it
Okay,
also
bye-bye.
acknowledges the diverse specializations of professionals and the diverse functions specific to the varied specializations.
Ano yung passing rate natin?
Ay,
The
meron na.
Philippine
2020.
Qualifications
Ay, 2020.
Framework
Hindi mo wala
encourages
tayong
lifelong
wala.
learning of individuals
So, at ang
and
doktor,
provides employee-specific training standards and
out of 7,
qualifications aligned with
Ngayon pa lang
industry
naman tayo
standards.
mag-a-apply noon
One
for
of its
this.
So, yun,
objectives is
wala
to
rin
align
ito.
domestic
Wala pa
qualification
yun. Kumbaga,
standards
Ay,
i-apply
with
lang natin
international
yan.
qualification
Yung goal ng
framework,
RTC for
thereby
FNP.
enhancing recognition of the value and comparability of
Kasi hindi
foreign
naman tama tayo
qualifications and supporting
mag-retroactive ng
the mobility
So,
of
for
Filipino
2020,
professionals.
Oo.
2021?
2020.
The Continuing Professional
Meron
Development
ng
Act of
2021,
2016
trial lang
states
natin yun.
that in the formulation and
Hindi, meron naman, pero
implementation of
trial lang
CPD
natin siya eh.
programs,
Kasi
each of the
ayokong
regulated
i-apply siya for
professions
a
have to
requirement.
ensure
Kung hindi naman
international alignment
solid pa
of
yung ginawa ko
competencies and
ngayon that like
qualifications of their
2020.
professionals through career progression mechanisms leading to specialization and subspecialization. Furthermore, it provides that the Commission and the boards, after due consultation, shall formulate and implement a career progression specialization program for every profession which shall form part of the CPD. And so, in 2018, the first CPSP resolution, which is the guidelines on the creation and implementation of a career progression and specialization program for the regulated professions, was formulated. In 2020, the creation of the CPSP CATS committee for each of the regulated profession was instituted. Resolution 1262 Series of
Pero si Dr.
2020
Dilaw yun daw.
mandated each of the
Baka nakausap niyo yung
professions to
resident.
enhance and upgrade the competencies and qualifications of professionals for the practice of their professions pursuant to the Philippine Qualifications Framework, the ASEAN Qualifications Reference Framework, and the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Arrangements, and other international qualification standards
Sa...
through career progression
Oh, doon
mechanisms
presidente ko daw.
leading to specialization
Ah,
or
okay, doon.
Kasi basta ka na natin
subspecialization.
Tanong ko kung meron na silang testing center daw.
Probably you
Sige.
are wondering
Kakausap
what
si
is the
Jervy,
difference between the traditional
Sige daw. Sabi
CPSP
ko pala,
Sabi
and the
ni Jervy,
PRC
basta Jervy.
CPSP. As I have previously mentioned, there are already existing several career progression and specialization programs in the country, and it has been brought to our attention by the industry, educational, professional organizations, and even by the local and foreign government agencies that most, but not all, of the higher professional education and training programs in the Philippines have stringent
Sige daw, by
requirements
Monday daw, ano
and
yung mga
even
ano ko.
act as barriers for
Chapter and
Filipino
testing center.
professionals
Sabi ko lang
who
kung
want to
tanong ko lang
progress
kung
to
parang
new
meron
and
ng-
higher qualifications.
Si Alan, nandun si Alan.
Well, generally, the programs require full-time
sa
commitment
NCR.
and are very costly. So
Kailangan lang
most
natin
general
tawagin.
practitioners
Dok,
are
sabihin mo ako
stuck
pag igugong natin
being
sa
on the same level for the rest of their life.
Hindi, kailangan ko
For
lang
some
eh.
of
Dapat,
professionals
wait
who
lang,
are
wait lang.
financially
per year.
capable to afford the exorbitant fees of some training programs and went
Pero pinaano ko sa
through
kanya.
an eye of a needle to successfully
Pinaano ko lang
become
sa kanya to.
specialists,
Kasi
it is
nag-assign ko na.
unfortunate that their qualification
Okay, di ba okay yung
title
symptoms
are
ang
not
mangyayari
even
na sa atin?
recognized by the local industry. Please do
July
not misunderstand that we want the
7 tayo.
requirements to be lenient
Paano pa-block
and
ko na ba siya?
fast-track the
Oo,
programs
sabi
so
mo,
as
go
to
na tayo.
swiftly populate the number of
July
specialists in the
7,
country.
Friday,
Definitely
no?
not. Now that the PRC spearheads the development of career progression and specialization for regulated professions, with your help,
7 a.m.
we ensure to
12
develop
sa-
quality-assured qualification titles that are aligned with industry and international standards, and most importantly, meet the needs of our country. With the advent of the Philippine Qualifications Register, we are confident that the higher professional qualification titles awarded by PRC accredited specialty societies will offer only highly quality assured education and training programs in order for our specialists to be recognized locally,
July 9.
and with the government recognition, it will be
Ano yun,
more
Dok? Sino
feasible
mag-exam, Dok?
for
Yung
these
kala-
qualification
yung subject.
titles to be recognized internationally as well.
And then yung isa, GP
As
Women's
previously mentioned in
July.
RA 10912, CPSP shall form part of the CPD,
November
and Section 4 of Article 2 states
20.
that CPD programs shall be formulated and implemented in each of the regulated professions in order to ensure the development of quality-assured mechanisms for the validation, accreditation, and recognition of formal, non-formal, and informal learning outcomes, including professional work experiences and
Yes,
prior
Doc. As
learning.
Monday, 27 na
Generally
pa siya.
speaking, the existing traditional higher professional
Puro malaki.
qualifications are
27
achieved only through formal education and
is 25
training,
Sabado.
and CPD is
So,
required only
November
to
28.
maintain the status of the
November 26.
specialist.
Oo nga,
CPSP should not
ano
be
gusto ko
restricted to
umangit.
formal education, but
Kasi
rather shall
gagawin natin
involve
December. Sabi ko
non-formal
naman
learning
December.
through continuing
Akala ko pala
professional
November
development
26.
and informal or experiential learning. Recognition of prior learning or RPL shall also be given value to avoid repetition of previous learning, reduce tuition costs, lessen the time required for the completion of an award, and increase the opportunities for flexible learning.
Parang ilang days ba, Doc?
So, the
Bago siya
pathways in
mag-graduate?
attaining
60
quality-assured
days.
higher professional
Before and after.
qualifications
Before and after
will
yun?
now be
Eh
much
kung ang
more
exam
feasible
January,
and
Doc, so pwede pa siyang
flexible, very
So,
much
ipapag-graduate siya
suited
dapat.
for
Pero parang
working
gusto ata kayo ng
professionals
CPR.
and in
Parang
situations
ginagawa niya si
similar
Bobby
to
hindi,
that
alam
of
ko
Villar.
ginagawa nila,
RPL.
Doc, parang parang sabi ko itong
At present, PRC is now shifting
Basta on the day
to
of
a
the
more
exam, graduate
holistic
ka na. Yun ang
approach
parang
following the
ganun, Doc,
PQF
parang
and AQRF
the day of
principles.
exam, graduate na
Non-formal
practice
learning,
exam.
such as those from CPD activities that can
Since I
contribute to
learned
the
that day
program
or
and
30
learning
days
outcomes
prior,
of a
graduate na.
particular
Sabi nga, Doc, dapat
qualification,
mas maganda, graduate
can
siya, mag-exam
carry
siya.
a qualification
Itong ginawa
framework
niyo, Doc,
credit.
hindi ko nga siya
So
graduate.
CPD,
Bakit?
together with formal
Hindi pa siya.
learning, professional work experience, and recognition of prior learning, when put together, can allow a professional to progress from one qualification to another and for the professional to be conferred a qualification title. The CPD Act of
Ayusin ko na lang siya, Doc.
2016
Hindi siya
states that
complete.
all duly validated and
Binigyan ko lang ako
recognized CPD
practice.
credit units earned by a professional
CR lang yun.
shall be accumulated and
So, yung CR mo
transferred
ilan?
in
494.
accordance with the pathways
Sa ano
and
ba?
equivalencies of the PQF.
500 na tayo. Kasi,
In the proposed amended CPD
Pero yung per
law,
year
Pero
na
it
magpaano
is
ako daw
included that
magpa-update?
CPD
Meron na
shall be
siya,
a
Doc.
beneficial and an integral tool
Pero
in
magpaano ako sa
upgrading
ano, Doc?
qualification
NCR,
standards
per year.
entitled towards career progression specialization, and the CPT credit units
O, dapat
earned may
yan.
result in earning certain
Actually, madali
UF
lang.
credit
Kung
for
sa
career
Ayusin ko
progression
na lang.
specialization, and this will be made possible through the credit
Okay,
accumulation
siya.
and
Wala po.
transfer
Thanks, Lord.
system.
Salamat.
In other words, validated CPD credit shall be
Para maglabas
part
na
of
tayo
the
ng quiz.
professional
Tanggalin mo na si mga dapat
portfolio in order to
Kasi
attain a
Oh,
higher
kahit sa
professional
baba, ay parang
qualification
traffic.
title. But definitely, it cannot be through
Ay!
CPD alone that a professional
Ha?
can gain to a
Kay
higher
Jessica!
qualification.
Kanto ka na yan!
We will be discussing more of these when your respective professional regulatory boards draft their CPSP resolution on credit accumulation and transfer system. Another difference is that PRC's CPSP closely adheres with the PQF principles and objectives, which is to support the development and maintenance of pathways and equivalencies that enable access to qualifications and to
Buti ko na
assist
makalimutan, buti
individuals
sinabi
to
mo.
move easily and readily between the different education
Bibigay
and
ko sa
training
kanila, kukunin ko
sectors
din to,
and
ganon.
between the sectors
Eh, paano ko
and the
makukuha kung
labor
nakapost ko
market.
sa
For your better understanding of pathways and equivalencies, let me give you an example. It is a common knowledge that for an individual to teach in college, one needs to have at least a master's degree. In CHED Memorandum Order 3, Series of 2018, which is the Policy Standards and Guidelines for the Doctor of Dental Medicine program, it states that a holder of a master's degree, such as MS Dentistry or health-related discipline, preferably dental education, educational management, administration organization, or at least a fellow of a PRC accredited dental specialty society, which is the PQF level 7. So a fellow specialist, even though he or she has no masteral or doctorate degree is qualified to teach dentistry as long as it is the subject of his or her specialization. In dentistry, a fellow is at PKF level 7 and a diplomate is at PKF level 8, which is generally the reverse in medicine. In addition, a fellow of a PRC accredited dental specialty society is given the rank of an associate professor, and a diplomate of a PRC accredited specialty society is given the rank of a professor. Furthermore, they are likewise qualified to become dean or associate dean of a DMD program after satisfying the other requirements. So these are just a few of the changes brought about by the PRC CPSP CATS program, and we can only continuously strengthen its formulation and implementation through the recognition and accreditation of specialty society and other specialty categories by the concerned board and the commission. With the partnership which we will build, definitely we can encourage and help our professionals pursue lifelong learning through CPSP, which is more flexible and feasible in attaining a higher professional qualification title. The objectives or purposes of PRC accreditation are as follows: to provide a standard for the recognition of certificates and licenses. This is made possible through the Philippine Qualifications Registry Policy Statement, which I will present after this slide. To facilitate the recognition of professional qualifications locally and internationally, qualifications awarded by a government agency shall be recognized locally and more likely to be recognized as well internationally. To provide public assurance of quality professional service, to promote accountability and build workforce confidence, and to assure relevance and standards of training programs aligned to industry requirements. Last December 14 of 2022, the Philippine Qualifications National Coordinating Council, headed by DepEd Secretary VP Sara Duterte, approved the PQR policy statement to indicate a clear reference to the appropriate PQF level on newly issued or renewed diplomas, national certificates, and professional identification cards issued by CHED, TESDA, and PRC upon issuance of the agency's respective rules, regulations, and implementation guidelines by year 2023. So for the recognized specialists of PRC accredited specialty societies and organizations, their professional identification cards will bear their qualification title and PQF level 7 or 8 respectively. PRC accreditation of specialty societies or organizations is voluntary and not mandatory. This means that your society can continuously exist and function even without PRC accreditation. However, you will not enjoy the rights and privileges of a PRC accredited specialty society, organization, or other specialty categories, which are as follows. First, to represent a specific field of specialization for which each specialty society, organization, or other specialty categories has been established and accredited, because there shall only be one specialty society or organization per identified qualification title. This will be discussed later on. Next, to qualify to be designated as a member of the CPSP CATS committee representing a specialty society, organization, or other specialty categories, and to exercise analogous rights and privileges under the policy issuances. We continuously work on the development of CPSP and CATS to further strengthen the rights and benefits of our accredited specialty societies. Of course, all these efforts will definitely benefit also our specialists. As mentioned, PRC accredited specialty societies and organizations shall be vested with rights and benefits engagement power. However, let us just remember that PRC accreditation per se of specialty societies, organizations, and other special categories is not a right, but rather a privilege which is given and can also be taken away. So let us not take PRC accreditation for granted, nor abuse the power vested in us. But rather, we need to continuously strive to grow and seize good opportunities for the betterment of our specialists and the Filipino people. We also need to maintain integrity, credibility, quality assurance, and most importantly, a harmonious partnership with your respective board and the commission. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much for that informative discussion, Honorable Garcia. May we just remind our participants who have questions and clarifications to kindly drop it down on our Zoom chat box or FB Live comment section. All those will be answered during our open forum. And to proceed to our next presentation about qualifications of specialty society, organization, and other specialty categories pertaining to Section 4 and 5 of Rule 2, let me introduce to all of you member of the Professional Regulatory Board of Mechanical Engineering and Vice Program Manager of CPSP CATS PMC, Honorable Jericho T. Borja.
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is the qualifications of specialty society and other categories. Okay. So the question would be who and what organization or society are qualified to apply for as accredited specialty society. Okay. The accreditation may be conferred to a specialty society or organization and other specialty categories depending on what is applicable to the profession concerned and subject to compliance with the condition herein set. This is under Rule 2 of the qualifications of specialty society, organization, and other specialty categories. Okay, under Section 4, for specialty society organization, subspecialty societies, to be conferred accreditation, the applicant specialty society, organization, or subspecialty society should meet the following qualifications. Okay. A, it must be registered with the SEC and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Okay. Some of the samples are now being shared. This is for the Certified Fire Protection Specialist of the Philippines Incorporated. They have already registered themselves, and their registration was dated March 5, 2021. Okay, another is the Organization of Power Plant Specialists, Inc. Their registration is dated March 2, 2021. And the Philippines Certified Lifts and Conveyances Specialists, Inc., which was registered December 4, 2020. There is also the Association of Water and Wastewater Mechanical System Specialists, Inc., which got their registration last January 13, 2021. And now, for the other qualifications, one of its organization purposes, as stated in the Articles of Incorporation, is to maintain and enrich professional expertise in a particular field of professional practice through training and assessment for updating and upgrading of competencies. Okay. Sample would be from the CFPSP Incorporated. If you will take a look at the second article, that the purpose for which such corporation are incorporated are to advance the specialized practice of fire protection and related human factors for engineering and its allied arts and sciences and related human factors for the benefit of the general public of the Republic of the Philippines. Likewise, if you are going to take a look and read the other purposes of the corporation, it will qualify for the requirements of accreditation. Okay, this is another one from the Organization of Power Plant Specialists. I'm not going to read it anymore. I'm just going to show you some examples. And then for the Association of Heating, Ventilating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration Specialists, Inc. From the Water and Wastewater Mechanical System Specialist. Okay, and then the name of the organization or society must bear the name of the area or field of specialization concerned. Okay, so going back to the example, you will notice that if the specialization is in air conditioning, you will see that the name of the association is Heating, Ventilating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration Specialist. Also, for the power plant specialist, the name of the organization is the Organization of Power Plant Specialists Incorporated, and also for the fire protection specialist. Okay, and then, okay, you will see the certificate of incorporation. Okay. And then letter D, all incorporators must belong to the same profession. For example, for the practice of mechanical engineering and for the specialization of fire protection specialist, the all incorporators must be all mechanical engineers and practicing fire protection engineering services. Okay. This holds true to all the specializations that I have presented to everyone. Okay, and then for section 5, this is for multidisciplinary specialty society organization. So to be conferred accreditation, the applicant multidisciplinary specialty society or organization should meet the following qualifications. Okay, if you will see, letter A, similar to the section 4, must be registered with the SEC and the BIR. Letter B, one of its organizational purposes, as stated in the Articles of Incorporation, is also to maintain and enrich professional expertise in a specific area of specialization of multiple professionals or multiple professions through training and assessment for updating and upgrading of competencies. And C, all incorporators must belong to the concerned professions. So for example, the specialization could be in the area of engineering, where the practice is from mechanical, electrical, or electronics, but the specialization could be a practice of the three professionals. But the incorporators can only come from the three professions. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And I will, if there are questions, I will answer them later.
Thank you so much, Honorable Borja, for that helpful discussion. Reminder to our participants, if you have questions and clarifications on the discussed presentation of Honorable Borja, kindly write it down on our Zoom chat box or FB Live comment section following our prescribed format. Thank you. And to present topic number 3, entitled Procedure for Accreditation, which relate to Section 6 to 14 of Rule 3, Section 18 of Rule 7, and Section 19 of Rule 8. Director 4 of Regulation Office, Attorney Maria Lisa M. Hernandez.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I can be heard. Can the Secretariat please share screen my presentation?
Yes, Attorney Lisa.
So again, my presentation will be focusing on the accreditation process. So it will be more on procedural aspect of our accreditation. Next slide, please. Okay. So under Rule 3 of Documentary Requirements and Procedure for Accreditation, Section 6 thereof provides for the requirements for the accreditation as the initial application of our organization, society, or other categories. So the following are the requirements. Application for accreditation, which must be duly accomplished by the applicant. Authenticated copy of the certificate of registration from the SEC, the one presented earlier by Honorable Borja as an example. Third is the authenticated copy of articles of incorporation and bylaws of the said organization. Then, certificate of registration from the BIR. For professions with existing specialty society, organization, or specialty categories, said organization must provide the certified list of training institutions, if applicable, and training programs with assessment mechanisms. Another requirement is a certified list of composition of their specialty boards with valid professional identification card for local professionals and such other documentary requirements as the board may reasonably require through their respective board resolution.
Visualize ka ba? Hindi, nagluluha eh. Ha?
Okay. So next are the documentary requirement for the renewal of accreditation. So before the expiration of the accreditation of our specialty society, they have to apply for the renewal. So the following are the requirements. First, duly accomplished form for the renewal of accreditation. Next is a certified list of accredited training institutions and training programs conducted with assessment mechanisms. Third, certified list of trainees and their corresponding status. Fourth, certified list of passers or qualified individuals endorsed to the profession CPSP CATS Committee for validation of qualifications. Next is a certified list of the composition of specialty boards with their valid professional identification cards for local professionals if there are changes in the composition as previously submitted, and such other requirements as the board may reasonably require, of course, through their board resolution. So when will be the prescriptive period for the renewal of accreditation? So the renewal of accreditation of our specialty society shall be filed at least 3 months prior to the expiration of the certificate issued. This is for the purposes that there will be no gaps in the accreditation of our accreditation of our specialty society, organization, or other societies. Next, please. So what are the grounds for the denial of the application initially applied for by our applicant society? So the following are the grounds. Failure to meet the qualification requirement as prescribed by these guidelines. Commission of acts inimical to the interests of the profession. Failure to comply with the lawful orders and or policies of the board and or the commission. Failure to comply with the regulatory policies of other government agencies like the SEC, BIR, and local government units. Adoption of discriminatory policies on membership. Misrepresentation of facts in the application. Submission of falsified or tampered documents. Commencement of malicious and groundless legal action against the commission and or the board in any court or in any government agency. So what are the grounds for the denial of application for the renewal thereof? So the following are the identified grounds. First is failure to maintain any of the qualifications for accreditation as stated in Rule 2 of these guidelines. Second, non-compliance with its duties and responsibilities under Rule 4. Third, failure to submit the required repertorial requirements. Fourth, substandard training or assessment regulations. Fifth, committed acts inimical to the interests of the profession. And six, violation of any provisions of our PRC Modernization Act, the professional regulatory laws, and or rules thereof. Section 11 of this rule provides for the grounds for revocation of the certificate of accreditation. So during the validity of the certificate of accreditation of our society or organization, it may be revoked or canceled on the following grounds. Of course, this is subject to due process and summary proceedings. First is the cessation to possess any of the qualifications for accreditation and or has violated any of the grounds provided in Section 9 and 10. Failure to comply with its duties and responsibilities. Third, failure to submit, again, the required repertorial requirements. Fourth, misrepresentation of facts in the application. 5, submission of falsified or tampered documents. And 6, commencement of malicious and groundless legal action against the commission and or the board in any other government agency. So we move on to the prescribed fee. So any accreditation provides for a prescribed fee, or as we call the processing fee for this purpose. So the accreditation fee is 3,000 pesos per professional qualification title. So we now go to the process or the procedure for accreditation. So how will our specialty society or organization apply for the said accreditation? So an applicant, organization, or society shall apply online, pay the prescribed fee, and upload all the requirements to their respective boards through the regulation division of our regional office, where their national office of the applicant is located. So the Regulation Division will check the completeness of the documentary requirements and forward the application to the concerned CPSP CATS committee. Then the CPSP at CATS committee will convene and evaluate the application and recommend to the board the approval or denial of the application. Then the board will act on the recommendation of the CPSP CATS committee. Then the board and or the commission shall either approve or disapprove the application. In case of the approved applications, the board and the commission shall issue a resolution, and the certificate of accreditation shall be signed by the board and the chairperson of the commission. In case of the denied applications, the board shall issue a letter notifying the applicant of the denial of its application and the reason therefore. Then it will be the regulation division of the regional office where the applicant applied for accreditation shall issue the certificate of accreditation for those applications that were approved or letter of denial to the applicant. So what is the validity of the accreditation? So the accreditation is valid for 5 years. Again, this is subject to renewal, provided that the CPSP CATS committee concerned shall monitor and evaluate every 2 years or whenever necessary compliance of the accredited specialty society, organization, or other specialty categories with all the conditions of their accreditation during the 5-year period. So within the validity 5-year period of the specialty society, they are still under the evaluation and monitoring of our CPSP CATS committee. Okay, now we move on to Rule 7, the registry of the accredited specialty society, organization, or other specialty categories, including specialty boards and training institutions. So the Commission, through our CPD division, will establish, maintain, and update the following registries: accredited specialty societies, organizations, or other specialty categories, specialty or subspecialty boards, and other training institutions. So it will be the CPD division that will have the custody for the registry of our accredited specialty societies, including their specialty boards and training institutions. So, for the disapproval of application, so this is under Rule 8 of our guidelines. So, Section 19, notification of applicants in case of denied application. So, applications that have been disapproved by our board shall be returned, as I said earlier, to the regional office where the said applicant applied for accreditation. Then they shall be notified in writing, and the cause for the denial shall be stated therein. The applicant may still resubmit an application once it has completed all the qualifications and documentary requirements prescribed under Rules 2 and 3 of this guideline. So, on the first instance, kung na-deny po yung inyong application, and then kung nakapag-comply na kayo prospectively on the requirements na kulang or yung qualification na hindi nyo na-achieve during the first try nyo, you may still resubmit and reapply for accreditation. So that will be all for my presentation. So any comments and questions will be answered later on. Thank you.
Thank you for the elaborative discussion, Attorney Hernandez. And for those who have questions and clarifications regarding to topic number 3, you may write it down to our Zoom chat box or FB Live comment section so it will be addressed on our open forum. So, are we all still good? Now we are down to our 3 topics for our public orientation. We have 2 more to go prior to our open forum. To continue, let's listen to our topic number 4, which is about accountability of accredited specialty society, organization, categories, and subspecialty boards, which is derived from Section 15 of Rule 4 and 16 of Rule 5. She is a member of the Professional Regulatory Board of Landscape Architecture and chairperson of the CPSP CATS Technology Cluster. Let us all have Honorable Cecilia Heras Tenz.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now I will discuss the accountability of accredited specialty society, specialty organizations, categories, and subspecialty boards. Rule 4 of Section 15. Duties and responsibilities of the accredited specialty society or organization or other specialty categories. First, identify qualification requirements and standards of the professional practice as required by the qualification title. Next, recognize the specialty board which conducts assessment. Endorse a professional portfolio of their accredited specialists to the CPSP CADS Committee for validation. To continue, Rule 4. Guarantee the authenticity of duly accomplished application forms and supporting documents submitted by the applicants for assessment of competencies and qualifications. Apply for accreditation with the concerned CPD Council, the programs, trainings, seminars, and/or workshops in order for the trainees to earn CPD credit units for the renewal of their PICs. Conduct faculty enhancement programs to update faculty members teaching the specific subjects of specialty and continuing development programs for their members. Provide required data sets of its members to the board and the commission if requested. And last but not the least, perform such other duties and responsibilities as reasonably directed by the commission and the concerned board. Rule 5, Section 16. Duties and responsibilities of specialty or subspecialty boards. Develop and adopt appropriate assessment methods, tools, and techniques for their respective area of specialization or subspecialization, which shall include, among others, peer, client, and community levels. Next, assess the qualifications of applicants and, very importantly, endorse to the concerned specialty society or organization or other specialty categories the qualified candidates. This ends my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Cecil, for that discussion. So again, if you have a question to the recently discussed topic, kindly put it down to our Zoom chat box or FB Live comment section. And for our last topic, entitled The Formation of Non-Traditional Specialty Society, which pertains to Section 21 of Rule 9, he is a member of the Professional Regulatory Board of Electronics Engineering and chairman of the CPSPCAT's Engineering Cluster, Honorable Herminio J. Orbe.
Good day, everyone. The topic of my presentation is about development of a specialty society or group through the non-traditional approach. The usual way of forming a specialty group or society is that a set of specialists creates an organization, register it to SEC, to BIR, to LGU, and so forth and so on, and start accepting members. This presentation aims to share how the electronics engineering profession developed their specialty societies. By sharing, we hope some professions who have not established their own specialty group may learn from these undertakings. But what is the value of a specialty society or group with respect to the CPSP CATS program initiative of PRC? As you can see in the organizational structure of the Career Progression and Specialization program of PRC, the specialty society or group plays a very important role. As shown in the process flow, the specialty board of the specialty group has a significant part in the process. Before a qualification title is compared by PRC and registered it in the PQF registry or PQR, and eventually for qualification referencing in the ASEAN region, it is the specialty board that initiates the first move. Thus, we cannot do away with the specialty organization if we talk of awarding of qualification title to a professional. At this point, let me first tour you to the electronics engineering profession scenario before year 20. Before year 2020, the electronics engineering profession has no established, whether formal or informal, specialty group. The birth of the specialty group in the electronics engineering profession was after the development of the ECE rulebook, which I will discuss later. Let me first share with you the professions which we consider having matured, well-established specialty group. The medical and the specialty society. The medical profession has 84 specialty societies and 7 for dentistry that had long been providing structured training programs and qualification certificate to their professionals. If I may borrow this slide of Honorable Commissioner Cueto, you will notice that since 1936, there is already established a specialty group and continuously evolving. Their specialty societies have reached the maturity level. Thus, if the society issues certifications, no question asked. This level of maturity is what the ECE profession wants to attain. That is why we want to start right by developing a rule book. The ECE rule book is anchored on the PRC resolution on the guidelines on accreditation of a specialty organization, typically Section 21, which states that if the IPO or APO of a concerned board has a committee of specialists which provide for a structured training program, modules with quality assurance assessment mechanism, the board may accredit it as a specialty group. However, prior to accreditation, the concerned board shall issue guidelines on the accreditation process, including the documentary requirements. So there are elements or requirements to be complied with before a specialty group be accredited by PRC. And these are the IPO or APO Concern Board has committee of specialists. They have a structured training program with quality assurance assessment mechanism, and there is a guideline on the accreditation process. Let me share again a brief background of the electronics engineering profession. Since 2014, we have been encouraging the electronics professional to form specialty groups, considering the ECE profession roadmap is towards specialization, but no positive response. Some of the reasons we receive, they do not see the value of a specialty group. They have apprehension. It will cause a breakaway. No one is spearheading. No concrete idea on how to go about the development or formation of the specialty group. To address the first two concerns, we conducted several CPSP CATS awareness activities through seminars, symposium, and convention. We conducted ECE Caravan nationwide, geared toward awareness among professionals on the ECE roadmap. We have BEECE Hour aired worldwide during pandemic, where we discuss issues related to our profession, and the prevailing issue then was the CPSP CATS initiatives. To address the last two concerns, we created a core group whose members are selected from among the practitioners of different fields of ECE practice and with known integrity, dedication, and passion to serve the profession. When the core team has been formed, immediately the first meeting was conducted on June 27, 2020, and every Saturday thereafter meetings were set. After several months, the draft version of the rulebook for approval by the membership came out, and after the approval, then the birth of the first specialty group. These are the recorded minutes of the meeting held practically every Saturday, not counting the follow-up meetings. Here in page, this one is the table of content. Here is the flow chart for the application of the specialization certificate and renewal process. This was adapted from an engineering company operating for more than 100 years. This is the template for the training program matrix consisting of competency requirement, the course title, number of hours, and the different level of competency. This is an example of the training matrix for railways electronic system engineering competency. This one is for biomedical engineering competency. Here are some takeaways and keynotes on the certification and assessment procedures. Although the ECE rulebook is not a perfect document, but it serves as a guide or reference for the creation, development, and operation of a specialty society. And It serves as a Bible to the Board of Assessors for the assessment of qualifications of professionals. As of the status, there are 6 specialty groups formally established. They are actively recruiting members. They are actively conducting technical seminars in their field of specialization. Some have completed the training program using the ECE rulebook template. And so, what other learnings can we get from this CX sharing? So, if I may say, action speaks louder than words, or walk the talk. So, thank you for listening and good day.
Thank you so much, Honorable Orbe. Now we are done with all the presentations. Indeed, we cannot thank you enough for giving this activity such massive attention. Thank you so much for staying with us. As we're about to start our open forum, may we reiterate some reminders. Only those questions related to the presented topics will be entertained. You may post your questions on the Zoom chat box and FB Live comment sections. And to receive your electronic certificates for today's orientation, kindly accomplish the evaluation form as this will allow you to receive your electronic certificates automatically. However, considering the volume of our participants, kindly allow time, that is probably within 24 hours, to receive your e-certificates. We will be flashing on the screen the link for a minute, so kindly screenshot or copy it. At this point, may we present to you our moderators. To facilitate topics 1 and 2, our moderator, the Professional Regulation Commission Consultant for CPD and CPSP CATS. Let us have Ms. Perla G. Po.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Justin, for your introduction. Okay, so we have some questions here, and we will be entertaining first the questions for topics 1 and 2. And for the first topic, we have this question. What is the PRC recommended phase of each PRB CPSP CATS implementation to be feasible or practicable in pushing the accreditation of specialty organizations for each professional regulatory board? The question is addressed to Doc Mika. Please unmute Doc Mika.
Hey, thank you, Ma'am Pearl. Yes, I read that question. I think that question came from Honorable Bayani. And I do understand that that is an internal question, no, for PRC. Okay, for the implementation process, we have already made a proposal, a recommendation to the commission, but I do understand that it's not yet put into a memorandum order nor a resolution. Well, just the same, we had recommended 7 phases. No, first, of course, it will be reviewed by the CPSP CAS committee, similar to the resolution in our creation of the CPSP CATS program. And then, second, of course, consultation with our relevant stakeholders, and then approval by the board. The fourth phase will be it has to be reviewed and endorsed by the CPSP CATS Program Management Committee. And then the fifth one, then it also has to be reviewed and endorsed by the review committee. And then sixth, it still requires consultation with the Civil Service Commission. And the seventh phase, that will be for the approval of the commission. But again, as I've said, that is not yet final because that is still a proposal. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc Mika. Here's another question for your topic. Will the PQF level on the professional identification card be recognized in other countries?
Okay. Well, the PKF levels no, and the qualification titles contained, they are not automatically recognized in other countries. However, the PQF can help facilitate the recognition of the qualifications, such as the professional qualifications. It is because we still need to consider as well other factors such as the domestic laws, the migration policy, the labor market, and other regulations of the host country. Now, Philippine Qualifications Framework is a national qualifications framework. Okay, we reference it with a regional qualification framework and not with a national qualification framework of another country. We do not do that directly. So like the PQF, last 2019, we were able to successfully reference it with the ASEAN Qualifications Reference Framework, no, together with other three ASEAN countries. So for example, for your better understanding, let's take,
Meron,
for
alam na niya.
example, Doctor of Dental Medicine, no, which is an
3,000.
expanded baccalaureate degree, but still it belongs to PQF level 6. Now, the Doctor of Dental Surgery, let's say in Indonesia, they have 7 levels in their NQF, is at IQF level 7. Now, both PQF and IQF, we reference to the AQRF. So
Alam
PQF
na niya,
level
Belyo.
6 is aligned with the AQRF level 6. Now, IQF level 7 is aligned with the AQRF level 6. So what does that mean? It only means that in the level descriptors of the PQF level 6 and IQF level 7, they are just on the level of the same complexity of the learning outcomes, since both of them were able to reference to the AQRF level 6. Actually, it's also a deliverable, no, for the post-referencing process of the AQRF, that we also need to indicate the AQRF, not only the PQF in our professional identification cards, also in certificates and diplomas granted by the higher education institutions and national certifications from TESDA. But we are still working on the quality assurance. We're still discussing quality assurance under the AQRF. So hopefully by last quarter of next year, we'll be able to deliver this one. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That seems to be a very comprehensive response. I just hope that with the acronyms, the response was well understood. There is another question for you, Doc Mika. What will be the role of accredited specialty societies over preceptorship programs offering related training programs?
Okay. Preceptorship programs, no, generally, they offer advanced education and training programs for general practitioners. Now, it all depends on the implementation guidelines on the accreditation of specialty societies that will be set by the respective professional regulatory boards per profession. But just to share with you, um, in dentistry, okay, we haven't accredited yet a preceptorship program. So, but what we did, we already drafted and submitted our final draft of the resolution on the implementation of the accreditation of specialty societies. And we have likewise revised our resolution on the guidelines on the criteria, standards, procedure, and accreditation of preceptorship programs and training institutions. And it is stated there that we want our preceptorship programs to form part of our career progression specialization program. In other words, no, of course, we want to accredit quality assured preceptorship programs so that our accredited specialty societies within a related field will recognize them. And we want a seamless, no, preceptorship program and for those graduates who would like to pursue specialization, we want some credit not to be carried out towards specialization. Okay. So, of course, we will be needing the help of our accredited specialty societies in the accreditation also of our preceptorship programs. Okay. That's it.
Thank you very much. And this last question is, I think, very related to what you just said. Are specialty societies allowed to collaborate with higher educational institutions offering post-degree programs to develop master's degree programs with specializations?
Um, okay, as I have mentioned, again, it all depends on the implementation guidelines to be set by the respective boards per profession. Now, in dentistry, since we have previously accredited specialty societies, no, but they still need to apply again because it's a different system now. I do understand that one of our specialty societies, the Association of Philippine Orthodontists, the Philippine Board of Orthodontics, no, they have done this before. They have accredited the masteral degree programs of some higher educational institutions. But in the process, of course, they need to inject also their own program outcomes, their requirements, even in the faculty, and also assessment. No? And I think, well, this is a really noble idea, and we would like to discuss this further with Chair so that we can make a policy because so that more higher education institutions will be more open in offering these programs wherein there will be a master's degree and then at the same time they will become specialists, no? So the graduates they will be conferred with two qualification titles.
Thank you very much, Doc Mika. I think there are no more questions for topic one. So let us move on to topic two. We call on Engineer Jericho Borja. So one of the questions for you is this. There are 46 PRBs where each PRB or Professional Regulatory Board can have two or more specialty organizations to be pushed and endorsed to SEC or the Securities Exchange Commission by PRC. Since there is a PRC SEC MOA about registration, will PRC request SEC for an express lane to expedite the approval process of SEC registration of the specialty organizations?
Okay. Probably we could request that the MOA also will be done in that regard. However, this early, I think only few have been registering. For mechanical engineering, there are already 6 registered, SEC registered specialty societies. They started their registration late or mid of 2020, and they got their registration. One got their registration last December 2020. The others got it in the first quarter of March. So we will look at it. If need be, we will request our commission to help us in the MOA with the SDC.
Thank you, Engineer Borja. We have another question for you. How does PRC determine which specialty board will be accredited if there will be more than one specialty society that applies and fulfills all 4 qualifications provided for by Section 4?
Okay, I don't know if I can really answer that because that would be a very political question. First, of course, is the first one who can submit the complete documentary requirements, and then those who can complete the procedures as mentioned by Attorney Lisa. Normally, in the accreditation for APO and IPO, the first one who submits the application will be assessed first. And thereafter, if it is accredited, then the others will not have a chance. But if the applicant the application was disapproved, then the next applicant will be assessed. So for the specialty societies, I would not know at this point in time how it will be done. Probably the PMC could meet so that could be resolved now before it becomes a problem. That would be my honest answer.
Thank you very much. I hope that will satisfy the person who questioned that. In the meantime, we can say that this is in something in progress that has to be acted upon. I have here another question for topic 2. When you say the members have to be of the same profession for subspecialties in medicine, does this mean members of the same field like cardiology, endocrinology, pulmonology, etc., and not just of same profession, in this case, generalized as physicians? That's the question. Please unmute Engineer Borja. Justin, please unmute. There. Oh, you're muted again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. When I say it is of the same profession, that would be for medicine. It would be the medical profession. So first, he has to be a medical doctor. Now, since the medicine is one of the two more advanced profession in this specialization, unlike the engineering, technology, and other professions, we are being guided by the experiences of the medical and dental profession. So, for example, if in the engineering profession, I will need a specialty organization for fire protection specialist. Then the mechanical engineers who are specializing in fire protection should group together, comply with the requirements of SEC, so that they can register as a specialty society. Yeah, but before that, they also have to coordinate and collaborate with the CPSP CATS Committee of the Mechanical Engineering and the Mechanical Engineering Board, so that the necessary resolution could be drafted and adopted in regard to the specialization for fire protection specialization.
Okay. Thank you. Would you like to add something, Dr. Cueto? Please unmute Cueto.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that you're right that there should be rules on this. But as for us in medicine, there's a rule in the Philippine Medical Association that there will be only one specialty society in a particular specialization. Because, as Dr. Miko Garcia has pointed out, when you have application of quality assurance and you have 3 or 4 societies in the same specialization, that will be very difficult for us. But I don't know outside of medicine what they will be thinking. And that's the reason was that I said in my message that we welcome ideas, inputs, and contributions to this public orientation, because we will consider recommendations from the different professions. As I said, there are 46 professions, and it's true that the most advanced are medicine and dentistry, and we do not want to impose the rules that have been adopted. Well, we may be open, but of course that will go through a proper process and evaluation before a final decision will be made.
Thank you very much for accommodating us, Dr. Cueto. Okay, another question for topic 2. Does a subspecialty society under a specialty society need to register to the SEC? Please unmute Engineer Borja.
Okay. Yes, the subspecialty society, if they want to be accredited, then they will also have to apply for an SEC registration and submit all the necessary or required documents to the PRC for their application, because they will be a different entity.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have another question here for you. I am one of the 25 international board certified lactation consultants in the country. We have been schooled and certified by an international certifying body based in the United States, but recognized globally. We are a mix of nurses and doctors, majority, who practice in the country. We are looking to apply to PRC to become recognized as a specialty and allied health profession. Since we are internationally certified by the certifying body for IBCLC, how do we apply to be accredited and recognized as a profession in PRC?
Yeah, okay. Later on, I will have to pass this question to also to Honorable Tense, because I know she has some experiences with this kind of system, no. But to first to answer it, it's just not about accreditation of a specialist. So first, you'll have to think about what would be the specialist, the title, the qualification title. So in this case, it's a lactation. They are lactation consultants. Okay, but they are a group of nurses and doctors. Okay, so they will have to talk to the CPSP committee of both the nursing profession and the medical professions, and the board, so that the qualification title and the specialization could be developed. Okay, so if the honorable Cecil could add, please.
Please unmute.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Jolly. So the question is, you are schooled online and that you are certified by a US certifying body. Now, by our rules, you must this certifying international certifying body must have a local counterpart. Okay, because when we talk about accrediting these organizations, you have to present the SEC papers, which means to say it must be locally registered also. Then, next, from our experience, we have also an organization which has a mix of professionals. Okay, we have this is the ECOMOS. Now, we discussed this earlier at the PMC, and we realized that it is possible. That's why there is that rule 4 or and 5, where we said this under the other categories. These other categories are those multidisciplinary organizations or societies. Okay, so it is possible, but very important, there must be a local counterpart of it established already. And and as the procedures go, you have to present the programs which are particular or focused on, let's say, your lactation. Okay, the program for that must go through the vetting of your CPSP CATS PMC, the specialty organization, and then presented. So it must go through that process. So I hope I was able to answer your question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tens, for your contribution. And now for the final question that I have here for Honorable Borja. Is an APO or
Yes.
APO accredited professional organization endorsement necessary for the accreditation? Please unmute. Please unmute, Engineer Borja. So again, this is for topic 2. Is an APO endorsement necessary for the accreditation? Please unmute Honorable Borja.
Okay. According to our guidelines, the approval of the accreditation for a specialty organization or subspecialty organization or other categories will will not need the approval of the IPO and the IPO.
Okay. So that is the last of the questions for topic 2. So thank you very much for those who raised their questions, and thank you for your responses, Honorable Borja and Honorable Mika Garcia. And thank you to Compueto as well as Honorable Tens for adding to our responses. Thank you very much.
Um, Ma'am Pearl,
Yes.
may we recognize Commissioner Cueto? Commissioner Cueto is raising his hand.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Because I heard questions about multidisciplinary specialty society or organization. I think the example is the lactation group. In our definition, letter L, multidisciplinary specialty society or organization, refers to an organization composed of experts or specialists belonging to multiple professions, duly registered with the SEC, which provides for a structured training program, modules with quality assurance assessment mechanism. That definition alone will now require that group belong to different professions, what kind of structured training program they underwent or that they went through. That's number one. Then demonstrate the quality assurance mechanism or give proof of the quality assurance mechanism. I don't know, there's no description that they should be equal or they should be equivalent. And then in section 5 on the rule 2, we do not have that many requirements. It's just must be registered with this SEC and BIR. And letter B is one of its organizational purposes, as stated in its articles of incorporation, is to maintain and enrich professional expertise in a specific area of specialization. And letter C, all incorporators must belong to the concerned professions. So I think there must be some additional qualifications that we need because it can be within the same profession but different subspecialization. Like in medicine, there are ultrasonography and ultrasound specialists. who come from medicine, who come from surgery, who come from obstetrics, gynecology, who deal with adult patients, who deal with pediatric patients. And in surgery, we also have the laparoscopic or minimally invasive. And they also come from the different specialties. Now we have an example of different professions. And I heard Honorable Borja state that they will have to go through the CPSP Council for Medicine. They will have to go to the CPSP Council for Nurses if they are nurses. But to me, my idea is if we have a provision for a multidisciplinary society organization, then we should have a CPSP Council that will handle a multidisciplinary group. They should not be required to go to all CPSP councils where they belong to, because that will be a fragmented way of assessing them. So I don't know. These are just my ideas. So I had to raise my hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Cueto. And to our moderator, Ma'am Pearl, and to our speakers who answered all the questions and clarifications, thank you so much. And for those who have further clarifications and questions, you may email us to our Gmail account, cpsp.cats.activity@gmail.com. And to proceed to our next moderator to facilitate the topics 3 and 4, let me introduce to all of you the chairperson of the Professional Regulatory Board of Medical Technology and chairperson of the CPSP Cats Health and Allied Cluster, Honorable Marilyn C. Barza.
Hi, good afternoon. For Attorney Lisa, our first question is, will specialty professional identification cards be issued by PRC on the specialty society?
So, good afternoon po. Ang tanong po is, will a specialty society be issued a specialty identification card? Tama po?
Yes.
Hindi po kami mag-i-issue ng specialty identification card, but a certificate of accreditation as specialty society. So certificate po siya, hindi po siya professional identification card for specialty societies.
Our second question, kindly clarify regarding the resubmissions. Will this be a continuous process under the old application, or will this be a new submission with assigned new number and application fee applied? Again?
Okay, sige ma'am. Yes po. For resubmission po, as I said earlier, the 3,000 pesos for the accreditation fee is for the processing of the application. So in the event po that the first application is denied by the board and the commission, and then subsequently, nakapag-comply po yung ating specialty society or applicant ng mga short or grounds for the na-comply niya or na-correct niya yung grounds for the denial based on the denial ng ating board or the commission, then mag-apply po siya as new. So, ibig sabihin yung una niya pong binayad, na-process po yung application niya, may decision po yung board and the commission. So, pag nag-reapply po siya, the society or organization shall pay a new accreditation fee and a new process din po ang gagawin doon sa kanyang application.
I have here a cluster of related questions. Can the society appeal for a denied application? And when disapproved, what happens to the fee? And the third is, what if the application was denied and will resubmit the requirements? Will there be another payment?
as I said earlier po, the decision of the board and the commission is final and executory. So non-appealable po siya. Yung solution or the action na gagawin po ng society is not an appeal but to apply anew. Mag-apply po sila ng bago kapag na-comply na po nila ang lahat ng qualifications and the requirements provided for accreditation. So, again, yung binayad po nila is for the processing. Ibig sabihin, yung mga ginawang process doon sa kanyang application, yun po yung for 3,000. And then, pag mag-apply po siya, so wala na po yun kasi may action na po yung board and the commission. So pag-apply po siya ng bago, so kailangan po siya magbayad ulit ng for the accreditation fee po or the processing fee.
Another question for you, Attorney Lisa. Will the registry PRC account for the number and distribution of specialists disaggregated by specialty area?
Ito po yung pang-specialist na po, no? Let me rephrase po yung question. Kung ang registry po ba ni PRC ay magkakaroon ng separate registry or for the professionals natin per qualification, the answer po is yes. So, ang meron na po tayong registry of professionals. So, magdadagdag na lang po tayo ng another area or column doon sa registry natin kapag na-approve na po yung mga qualifications title and specialization ng ating professionals. So kapag nag-request na po sila ng kanilang professional identification cards, lalabas na po doon yung qualification title and PQF level po ng ating mga professionals. So in the event naman po na may third party na magre-request for the list of specialists ng ating mga specialists of a particular profession, makakapagbigay na po si PRC based po sa ating registry list of specialists. Per qualification title po yon or per specialization.
May isa pa po tayo. Can a professional society or organization that has legal personality and is a multi-specialty apply for a single accreditation?
Pwede pong i-rephrase ko ulit. Yung APO or IPO, may ano po siya, no? May Committee on Specialization. Ang gusto niya ay mag-apply siya for the entire Committee of Specialization niya. Sa existing guidelines po natin, I'm talking about this general guidelines or mother resolution natin. Ang pag-apply po is per qualification title. So, ibig sabihin, kung isang organization or APO, may 5 po siyang specialty committee of specialists. So, per committee of specialists po yung kanyang i-apply. Kasi ang pag-process po natin is per qualification title or per specialization po.
One more. Will the specialty society require an endorsement from the specific regulatory board?
Hindi na po kailangan ng endorsement kasi ultimately po si board din po kasi ang mag-evaluate ng kanila, mag-approve ng recommendation ng ating CPSP CATS committee. So hindi po requirement ang endorsement ng board for application for accreditation po.
I think that's it, Attorney Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you din po.
For topic 4, Honorable Thames. We at the agriculture profession are still in the process of refining our subspecialization. I understand that subspecializations must be referenced with the PQF, AQRF, and the MRAs. Kindly advise if these reference frameworks are already available to serve as our guide in our work.
Um, First of all, thank you for the question. First of all, the PQF has already been available, and the AQRF, I understand. And for the AQRF and the MRAs, I think Doc Mika Garcia will be in a better position to answer that question. Now, all your specializations and subspecializations must be referenced with the PQF. That is a very basic requirement. So I think I would give the floor to Doc Mika to answer regarding the AQRF and the MRA frameworks.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Cecil. Well, regarding the AQRF, as I have mentioned, Philippines has already referenced last 2019, and the material, it's actually on the PRC website. There's a link there. Okay, and then regarding the MRAs, okay, of course, the various professions with MRAs, they are already in the different stages of development and implementation. Thank you.
Honorable Tens, here's another question. Since our credentialing organization is not local and the majority, sorry, and the majority of the CPD units required for practice is not offered in the country, open close parenthesis, we earn them online, but some may be credited from here. How will we be able to align with the PRC framework so that as we continue to practice, we are still in keeping with PRC guidelines of practice? Do we need to submit our curriculum and our quality assurance framework first to be recognized?
I think I answered that together with Honorable Jolly Borja earlier. Um, we begin as When we began this webinar, we began with the purpose of the CPSP and the accreditation, the importance of the accreditation, and the requirements for the accreditation. So I think I there was a question earlier, and I said that it would be best and advantageous if you had an equivalent local society here that is established. Now, if there is none, then you have the opportunity to be able to establish that organization or specialty society. And then from there, you work through the process that has been outlined. You have to be able to present your program and the quality assurance processes. Okay. And my topic, the duties and responsibilities, it was very clear there that these societies or organizations must be able to develop not only the program, but also the assessment tools and methods. Okay. Because as explained earlier, there was a question also earlier about international courses being taken, or even your specialization, will it be accredited abroad? So in the same way, what is accredited here may not be accredited there. And in the same way, because we are implementing this, what is accredited outside of the Philippines still needs to be accredited here for the simple reason that you have your individual professional regulatory laws that are prevailing. Okay, if we did not have these individual PRLs, then there would be really no problem. However, we have the very basic legal basis, which is your PRL. Okay, so there. Thank you.
I guess that's all for Honorable Tens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Barsa, and to our speakers, Ma'am Cecil and Honorable Cecil and Attorney Lisa. And to facilitate the questions and clarification from our last topic, a member of the Professional Regulatory Board of Guidance and Counseling and chairperson of CPSP CATS BS Cluster, let us welcome Honorable Carmelita P. Pabiton.
Yes, good afternoon. We have two questions for Honorable Orbe. Number one question is, in the field of medicine, who is the APO, who is the specialty board, and who can apply as an accredited specialty group? That's for topic 5.
Okay. Can I be heard there? Maliwanag ba yung aking audio?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Ang tanong, who is the APO?
In the
Palagay
field
ko,
of medicine, yes.
in the field of medicine, palagay ko, papasok ko kay Commissioner Cueto yon. And then, what is the other question?
Who is the APO? Who is the specialty board? Who can
Who is the-
apply as accredited specialty group? This is post after your talk.
Okay.
Honorable Orbe.
Yeah. Actually, there are 83 societies or specialization. So all the 83 can apply. And each society have their own board. So kung yun ang tinatanong niya, who are the specialty board? I don't know kung yung APO. Actually, in the process, APO is not part of the process. So walang pakialam ang APO, but I don't know kung bakit na itanong yung APO. So maybe I will pass the question to Commissioner Cueto. Sir, tulungan nyo nga ako dito.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me answer it straightforward. The APO is the Philippine Medical Association, and then we have lead specialty societies and we have subspecialties, and each specialty has its own specialty board because it's the specialty board which administers the competency assessment at the end of the training. So, as you said, there are more than 80 specializations. So there are 80 specialty and subspecialty society, more than 80 specialty and subspecialty societies, and there are corresponding boards for every society because they are the ones which administer the certifying boards. But there are also societies which are non-boarded, meaning interest group, advocacy group, or meaning they just band together, but they don't conduct residency training or specialization. So that's the situation for medicine. But I don't know if there's a parallel in what you presented, Honorable Hermie Orbe. Would that be applicable in your profession, which you I think showed as a model?
Yeah, I think maybe the parallelism there is we are considering one profession and each profession has different specialization. So each specialization group shall apply for accreditation and each specialization group has its own board of assessor, or we call it board, specialization board. So baka doon yung parallelism na isa yung isa yung APO, but there are several societies or specialty group. I think yun yung comparison. I hope Sino yung nagtanong? Parang si Honorable Galvez. Si Ellen ata yung nagtanong eh. Parang nakita ko yun.
I think it's from Miss Hasmin.
Miss
Miss
Hasmin.
Hasmin Hamora.
Okay. So, I hope I have answered it and I'm sure klaro yung answer ni Commissioner Cueto.
Cueto, yes. So, another question for you, Honorable Orbe. Is the accreditation of a specialty group which is separated or which is outside the original professional organization a potential tool to divisiveness?
In our case, our engineers or our professionals sees divisiveness if we will have a separate group. So that's the reason why we do it in such a way that the umbrella organization is the APO, and then since we have a specialty or specialist committee, and each committee perform its specialization, so